from the village cut the meadows. It was as if the meadow lived at its pagan, non-Christian, Saturnalian. And we are live. Happy pagan, non-Christian, Saturnalian, satanic holidays. This is the Limitless Channel live, and my co-host is Jason Laufenberg, Awake Souls. Take it away.
How you doing, brother?
I'm great. It's nice to see you. Put these back on. What do you think? Am I like Mark Sargent with his neon blue? Or no, is he cooler?
You know, you got the lab coat. You're styling tonight, brother.
Up the front button or something there. Yeah, man, it's great to be back. Super nice to see you, man. I went away for the holidays. Like I said before, the pagan, non-Christian, Saturnalian, satanic holidays. And I had a great time. As much as I have to say that it's tough to be around people that aren't truth seekers, that aren't aware of the deceptions that are going on. And we'd like to hear maybe from people in the chat tonight. We don't have too much planned. Why don't you let everybody know what you felt like talking about tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I was alone. I didn't leave the house. I didn't talk to nobody other than you. Right? That was my holidays. And I was fine with it. It didn't bother me at all, actually. But I didn't get the opportunity to interact with a bunch of people because I know what I do when I get into a situation and there's conversations going on. I sit there, listen to the conversation, figure out what parts are true, what parts are false. And as soon as I hear a part that's false, all of a sudden it's like, how am I going to let this person know that that's not true? And I right away go into strategizing as far as how am I going to address this topic and in this situation, and what do I know about this person? How can I there's all these calculations that instantly start running. And I'm always looking for that opportunity to interject some truth and steer the conversation away from lies and deception. And I'm not afforded the opportunity to get into those conversations much because I don't celebrate the holidays. I grew up Jehovah's Witness and really don't even know how to celebrate the holidays. I tried a little bit when I went through my atheist satanic time period, but I didn't even know what I was doing. And so it's actually more natural for me to not celebrate holidays. It's never been a thing for me, but I know for so many other people it is. And so I would love to hear what goes on, especially for people that are truthers in these days. I would love to hear your experiences, what it was like. How did it go down? Did you shy away from conversations on the truth topic just to do the go along, get along? Did you engage in topics? How was it received? And that's the kind of stuff that I would love to hear about. And so hopefully, send out a couple of invites here. And this is open to anybody that's listening. We're going to put a link to the Hangout in the chat here. You'll be coming on to Zoom. So you need to have like the Zoom app, and it's a professional webinar type service.
Well, no,
What?
Nope, you can join by browser.
By browser?
Yeah, through the link.
Through the link.
You should have Zoom. In what we believe is that it's the best form of communications, right?
Yeah, well, we pay to be able to do this, but we do this so that we can run good hangouts where we can have people join. We don't get sniped on the way it happens on Google Hangouts. So yeah, so we'd like you to call in, but we don't want to just like fill up a panel and have it like hard to talk with each other. We'd like to be able to come in, have good, solid conversation back and forth, and then maybe you can step off, but you can come and go. It's we just want to have, high quality, very listenable conversations to people that are going to come across us. And you all know the drill. You've been around for a while now.
Yeah, most of the people watching are fluent with the way we like to do things. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat. I know it's tough to go through the holidays and be around people that maybe not care about the same things as you, right?
I don't have the stomach for it anymore. Just like I don't have a Facebook account because I don't have the stomach for something like that. I don't have the stomach for relationships that are based on idle talk or gossip or blasphemy or just lies and deception. Like if people are spouting off things that I know are not true and they don't want to hear the truth about it, I really don't have much to say to that person. And so it's a personal choice. And
well,
it does isolate, but it's for a reason. I don't want to be affected by that.
Well, Corey, why don't you put the number in the chat while I answer Corey? Corey says that is very true. If you want to alienate yourself from family and lose most of your friends, become a flat earther. Well, flat earth, that's a bit of a straw man comment. Anytime that you seek the truth and you try to share the truth with people that are suffering from cognitive dissonance and mind control, they are going to have an opposition to it. You are not going to have an easy acceptance to all the deceptions. But would anybody, at the end of the day, would you rather have yourself be known for someone that tells the truth no matter what, or someone that tells you what you want to hear? So if someone wants to hear that they live in an endless evolution, Big Bang cosmology, do you tell them, okay, you can believe that? Or do you say, well, hey, no, the earth doesn't move. It's actually water's flat. And, the stars and everything rotate around us. And it was created by a creator. So to me, I'd rather be known as someone that tells the truth all the time, no matter what.
So we have Mike Blackiston that wants to call in, but I said just click on the link in the chat. Ronnie's already dropped it.
So yeah, I guess this person's a troll, but the thing that I see commonly used as another straw man argument is that flat earth is a cult. Well, the requirements for a cult are everybody has to have the same beliefs. And if you haven't been tuning in here on the Limitless channel or live on the Awake Soul for the last 3 years, you would realize that none of us agree. Jason and I are the only ones that have gone the full length to find out a possible map that would work for all situations, with all measure, with all earth orientation, and if we were in a cult, we would have thousands of people that were all sharing that. But there's only me and Jason, Elias. There's a couple of people, Derek, Laborde, Catherine, who just joined us. So, right off the bat, you can't really call Flat Earth a cult because there's not a bunch of single things that each of the cult member agrees upon. And those are some of the main requirements if you look up the definition of a cult. I believe the globe Earth is really, truly, and honestly a cult. It's Pythagorean. You go over, Jake. Take it over.
I'm sorry. I'm responding to this mic right now.
Well, the flat Earth is more of a biblical based cosmology, and it takes personal observation into account. And Jason and I are the only ones that teach that the stars and there's two poles in the sky, and we live on a flat Earth. But hey, Catherine, how you doing? I read your comments. You said you were super lonely. My suggestion is that you research as much as possible. And if you made videos, you would see that the times between Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday when you can join us here go by real quick. If if you start producing content and sharing the truth, and then you're going to make other friends that are seeking the same truth as you, and constantly be thinking about your house shy, and you just ask him to heal your loneliness. That's all.
Hi guys. Yeah, my health wasn't good enough to at the time to yeah, actually at this time God really wants me, and I think he wants other people to just chill out and like just, you know, yeah, I don't think it's like, I just feel like nobody's waking up, so it's time for people to chill out, and cat wants to go back outside. Hurry up. No, quickly. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just, yeah, God wants me to chill out first. He didn't want, like.
And then you're going to make other friends that are seeking the same truth as you.
I know. I did look for, what was it? I did look for people on, oh yeah, I haven't checked my rating, like I haven't checked my statistics recently, but after those first 4 videos I put out, I just thought, oh, like how long is it going to take for me to get to find somebody in my area? I don't know. I just kind of given up, and I'm kind of trying. I've decided to move again, so I'm closer to people, because I've done a demographics kind of research into maybe what's the best area with more awake people, and I've been looking at.
Can I give you? Yeah. Can I give you a recommendation?
Yeah. Okay.
So from what you're telling me, you're lonely and would really like to have physical association with other truth seekers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it from you multiple times, and it sounds like you're exceptionally down right now. And
yeah, it kind of does that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so my recommendation is, what you're looking for is a practical solution that's going to make you feel better as quick as possible. All right. And so in this situation, you got to be practical and think to yourself, you know, to have the physical association, you're talking about like uprooting and moving and going through all these changes. Like, how long do you think it would take if you were to just move to a different area to get nestled in, meet new people, and find out whether or not they care about the truth as well?
I think it's just I'm not moving very far, but it's just going to be, I'm not relying on that so much. There's a few other reasons why
Oh, sure, there can be other reasons, but the reason why I brought it up is because the way you can connect with truth seekers is to put out what you believe is the truth online, right? Because then other people will interact with you, and you'll get to know for yourself who are real truth seekers.
I know. That's something I've wanted to do. I couldn't actually do it. That's like one of the first priorities, to try and find people. I tried it once, and I was kind of hoping to get maybe some people from New South Wales kind of relatively soon, but I'm like, I could pray over my channel to like stop kind of people messing with it and putting it down in the algorithms or something, because I was doing that. I was praying over my channel, and still like,
it's great to pray over the channel, but you know, it took me years, 3 years at least, before I got like 15, 20,000 views. So if you've done 4 videos, you're really putting way too much pressure on yourself. And
like, I know I need to put out more, but physically I can't do it. And I've just watched Sam Bankman, and he's been talking about how if you're lonely, you are like mentally ill. And I have God as well. Like, that's another thing. But I need more than just God. I need people to interact with, just like have a relaxing conversation with. And it doesn't even have to be about truth or stuff, because, like, yeah, I'm kind of realizing that, like, I got energy from getting back into the fantasy kind of stuff. So, you know, God's telling me I need to chill out for a bit, and that did wonders for my health. And now I'm feeling much better. Maybe I'll be able to make some videos soon. I do know that, like, I'm gonna have to work at it. I'm gonna have to take the time, and I'm not gonna get people immediately. But yeah, I did actually need to take a break. Like, people can't, like, it's just me. Like, I was narcissistically abused, and, like, I don't realize how screwed up I am, and I needed to just, like,
well, see, you know, I used to live in that victim mentality, and I realized that I was a full grown adult, and I wasn't under oppression or being abused or having anything done to me right now other than, you know, the choices that I make. And, you know, I just, every time that I hear you say something, I gotta comment about, not to cut you off, but you're okay now. You're going to be okay in the future.
I'm not, because I can't even go out and go get shopping. I can't even go get like, I can't get up in the morning early enough. We're going for a heat wave, and it's like, I have trouble just getting out to walk outside. I'm like, there's other people who go through depression, who go through similar things.
You know, baby steps, what I would do. I can relate. I've been there.
So yeah, severe depression is something that can be, it can be scary, because we can actually neglect ourselves to the point that we incapacitate ourselves. Right. So I've done something similar to this before. I don't think it was out of depression as much as I was super, super ignorant as to how bad the food supply actually is. But so we can totally derail ourselves in a number of different ways, and it's really mentally focused. So depression is the issue that you're dealing with, and so you need to focus on how to overcome depression. And yeah. I can give you a couple tips, right? That if you actually put into practice, you can't be depressed. And so some of this comes from techniques that I learned when I was going through my new agey, esoteric, satanic days. But there are lessons to be learned, practical ones, not spiritual practices, but practical everyday things. And so when it comes to depression, try to put yourself in the actual moment of now, and think about nothing else other than what is taking place at this very moment. And so pay attention to the weather. If you're in a room, like, what's going on? And if you're okay, if you're not dying at that moment, ask yourself, just how bad is this? And so take control of your thoughts, pay attention to where you are, what's happening right now. And as you do that, what you have to do is put focus on what it is, positive things. So fill your mind with the way that you would like to feel. Pay attention to it, focus on it, And when the negative thoughts come into mind, try to squelch them. Like sometimes when I go to the stores now and they have the Christmas music on, it gets lodged in my head, and it's stuck there, and I'm like, it gnaws at me. I'm like, I just want this to go. I want this to go. So sometimes I try to use blocking techniques, where as soon as it starts getting caught, I do like like a little sensor type beep in my mind, and I like mess up the audio. I'm like, and so just by doing stuff like that, I can disrupt that train of thought, and I try to keep it isolated at bay. So as soon as I start noticing that train of thought come up, I do the almost like I'm hitting an electric buzzer, and so once you sort of have it at bay and you have it isolated, then you can shift the other part of your conscious mind towards something positive and try start walking down that path, and just let that thought that you didn't want to exist just disappear behind you as you're moving forward. So it's a technique that you really can stop negative thoughts and switch to a positive train of thought. And then the next thing is you got to get off your butt, and you got to get motivated and do things. You got to get out of the house, clean the house, do something to kick yourself in the pants, and even do things that you don't want to do. Right?
Maybe. Well, yeah. I'm not sure to say that. There's a few things I guess I haven't been doing, and it's like, I mean, there's some positive things I've been doing. It's just like, I do have a sort of a positive outlook, and I do have some ways to get rid of negative thoughts with what Rashid Dossett's been teaching on his channel, and he's been like, one thing I do sometimes is if I get a negative thought that I don't want, I say I break contract with that thought in the mighty name of Yahweh, because everything's very contractual in spiritual realm, it appears.
All right, so you shut it off. Boom. And
that will get rid of it. They don't like the name of, for people who are unawakened to the real name of Jesus. They don't like that name, but obviously they'd hate Yahweh more. It's basically any bad thoughts. It's probably just a demon trying to get in, and you just go break contract, because things are contractual. Break contract with it in the mighty name of Yahweh, and that's how I get rid of some of it. Yeah.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. That probably helps somebody out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm feeling bad, I don't feel like kicking myself in the butt to like do something. Like things are getting like not that interesting anymore, because it's always like I am increasing. I am getting better. It's just like my repetitive stress injury has been with me for more than 5 or 6 years, and it has, like the positive state of mind is the fact that, oh, it's gotten better. Something happens every day. Something gets better and better and better. Most of the time what I have to do is like find videos that reveal truths to me, and recently it's been a lot of narc videos or narcissism videos about narcissism, and really like you just have to go back in your childhood and think of and actually really just have an honest look at it and go, yeah, your parents, yeah, my brothers who like my parents weren't good. My brothers, they were like, what's it called? Yeah, they rung me or texted me yesterday, and they said they wanted to talk to me, and then they said, oh, just wait, I'm getting dressed or something. wait for my phone call. I waited, and I was like, no, you're messing with me. And I turned my phone off, and I was like, why would I waste my time with my own brothers? They're the only guys that might actually talk to me during this time, and I can't even rely on them. And I've given up on my extended family because I've given up on them. They're just enabled my mother, by a mother, and yeah, just everybody was enabling people to treat me like crap. So yeah, like the people, like I was in a point where it's like, oh man, I know God's cut a lot of people off from me. Like he says, no, you can't have anything to do with these people. And he's allowed me to like be able to hang out with some people. But yeah, even those people are just still pretty substandard, and just I don't feel like hanging out with them. And then there's people who are just too busy, and I'm like, okay, man. So yeah,
that's a problem. It's a problem, right? That Ronnie and I talk about that. It's like who can you really have a conversation with these days? You said it. They're substandard, and it's verifiably so. You know, when I think of my own parents, they refuse to look at any of the evidence that they're, part of a satanic cult, a Pythagorean cult. And they won't sit down. They won't look at the evidence. They want to believe the lie. They do. And like I said earlier, I can't stomach it. Like I willfully choose to have no association over that association because it's painful. It hurts me.
Yeah, I can't possibly be fake. I'm trying to find ways that I can maybe chill myself out and maybe become more, maybe. I think maybe the only thing I can do now is just take care of myself, because otherwise I'm still too depressed. It's like, and I don't know when I'll be happy enough to like start making videos. Like I've told people, oh, I'm gonna make videos. Like in the past, like a few years ago, I said, oh, I'm gonna make videos, and then it's like I've still got a lot of problems, and I think that's the only way. Because yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You're concerned about being fake, right? Because you're thinking that you would make some happy, smiley video about here's this wonderful truth, everyone. Here, enjoy, right? But
I'm not thinking of doing that.
But that's not what people really need to learn. They need to learn the hard lessons that you've learned. Right? You've gone through them. You can, like you were saying, these people were enabling the mistreatment of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can see it. You know what's going on. There's no denying it. And so you can share that lesson with other people that haven't figured that kind of stuff out yet. And as you share that and other people are going through the same thing, they'll relate to you. You'll have the conversation and you'll have the friend that you were looking for.
I think that takes like a lot more dedication. I mean, I have actually, maybe it's just like, who knows when I'll start making videos, but every day I think, oh, I can start making videos now. And then it's like, I actually need to still take a break. Like, I actually do. Like,
well, yes. Yeah. I mean, I know it's physically wearing on you and a whole bunch of stuff. And so right now might not be the right time.
Yeah. Also, I just never know when it's going to happen when I feel like making videos. It's all to do with my body and how I feel. It's constant. Like I've told. Yeah, you might know Brendan O'Connor. I told him I was going to make videos, and then it was like, no, I don't feel like it. Like, why should I help other people when nobody's going to wake up anyways?
Well,
and it would take a long time for me to get friends in this.
That's a really, 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 really bad idea. You have to do what you want to do because you love Yahushua. So are you praying to him that you be helping his will, and that maybe Yahushua, please, I really want to fulfill something in my life. Help me. Send your Holy Spirit. I'll pray right now, and the Holy Spirit is sent to you, Catherine, and that you fulfill what it is in your heart that you need fulfilled. I just want you to pray and ask to do the Father's will. Just don't think that you're not making a difference, because you really are. You have an opportunity to share with people some of the most important truths that humankind is researching. That's something great that you have. And you've been here, and you're learning, and you follow other channels, and it's great. What I do is when I have a super negative depression type thought, I'll put an elastic band on my wrist, and whenever I start to think that thought or feel that down, I'll just flick the elastic band and praise Yahushua. Even at your very, very worst, try to give praise and glory to the Creator, and he'll pick you up.
Yeah, well, another thing that I'm sort of picking up on is you're defeating yourself before you get started by saying that nobody's going to listen, right? And so Ronnie and I could do the exact same thing. We could be like, 20 people is not worth our time and effort.
Years we've been doing this. Years to get 20 people live. We could say, you know what? Why try?
Mm-hmm.
But do we ever, sick, rain, snow, shine, cell phone, laptop, PC, do we ever miss Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday?
Not too often. And so there's a number of things. Like Ronnie and I keep on telling people, we're in some sort of simulation / realm. We know that the words that come out of our mouths and the written word, be it typed or handwritten, is code in this world. And so we know that every time we sit down and we have these conversations where we just speak truth, we try to interact with other people, and all of this will be picked up by the rest of humanity as a collective, because as individuals pick this up and realize that this is truth seekers then share it. So the truth can spread like a virus, right? If there's truth seekers out there, we're just super inundated by the amount of Satanists out there. But for the people that actually care about the truth, they can pick this up and share it, and it grows exponentially. So what you do with your content, if it reaches 5 people, those 5 can reach 10, and that 10 can reach 100. And, at some point, there's going to be some channels flipping out there, channels that have big viewership that all of a sudden realize, hey, this world is ending. I don't want to go to hell. And, let's see. Earth is flat. The AE map and model doesn't work. Hey, it sure looks like we're in some sort of simulation. Well, who made this place? Well, it's the God of the Bible. Hey, I found these guys over here. So it's just everybody, every little thing, every word, every comment that you make, every share that you do makes a difference. It really, really does.
Yeah, I know. I think I want kind of an instant reaction. I mean, it's just I just seen some people, like, there's one guy who's in, well, I probably won't give out his exact location. He's nearish. He's in Sydney, where I was kind of just outside of Sydney. He's like, I tried to tell him, and he's like, I tried to tell him about the AE map model is wrong, and I tried to tell him about you. I told him to go to your channel. Like, I even met up with him in real life once, and like, he says he's like a Torah follower. I don't know, he might be in the Rob Skiba crowd now, but still, it's just like, yeah.
But see, the good thing is that you're still out there doing it, regardless if you're welcomed in, and when you say he's in the Torah movement, if you're following our channels, you should know that worshiping the old covenant is a curse. Right. And you know that whoever you try to share our truth with or your truth with, you're not going to be met with open arms. Yahushua said he sent himself here to divide. Right. So I'm super praying for you, Catherine, and I'm really thankful that you show up and that you contribute in the chat and you're a part of this channel. You're a Team Yahushua member and you make videos. And I'll be praying for you, but I know you're gonna get through. You're gonna do what it is that you need to do. And I think we had someone else join us, but I just wanted to say, Catherine, I enjoy your friendship. I know it might only be here and there. We don't talk that much, but this is how Jason and I interact with the world. We don't hang out with friends either. And we're always here. If you join Zoom, did you join Zoom?
I guess, I think, it just seems like every new show is a new link.
You got to download or even on Google, Gmail, awakeeple@gmail.com, AWAKEEPLE@gmail.com. Email me, and you can email me whenever you want, and I'll respond to you. We can, you can talk on the phone if you have to. I'm always here. Jason's, a lot of the times answers too. And just pick yourself up. Thanks for being a friend of ours.
Thanks for having me today and being friends. Yeah, I guess it's like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of a millennial thing, but it's like, it actually takes a lot of hard work just to get a few people to be friends with. And you know what I want, like, I don't know, you don't want that kind of thing, but I want a thing where I could sit down and chat with people, maybe have some drinks, some food, that kind of hang out kind of thing. I don't know if you like doing that, but yeah, that's the kind of thing I want. I kind of want it instantly, but I guess maybe.
Jason, we could make it out to Australia at some point. I would love to see it there. Just be patient, sister. That's all you got to do. And I totally understand how you feel. I've been through bouts of that myself.
The community that Ronnie and I are working towards getting going, that community will be just like what you're talking about. It'll be people working to grow food. It'll be working to harvest food. It'll be working to prepare food. It'll be with this flywheel generator, we'll probably be able to produce a product that everybody wants, so they can detach from the electric grid. And so it will be sitting around the bonfire and chilling out with. I'm okay with drinking. The scriptures say don't be drunk, but beer, wine. I don't do the mixed drinks too often, but I'll have one here or there. So yeah, and we are medicinal marijuana advocates as well. So we're not all stuck up or whatever. We're real people that want to sit down and have conversations about big truths. And we don't want to talk about the Kardashians and stuff like that.
Yeah. A good thing about me moving to it's basically, it's 60 kilometers away, so it's not that far. It's actually closer to the city a little bit, but that area that I'm moving to, north of Maitland. You wouldn't know what it is, but it does have this, like, there's a meeting for slow food, which if I was in, like, I'm in Singleton, like, Singleton's actually too far away, further away from this slow food meeting, and these people, like, there was, I went up to somebody to ask to see if there was any food from Singleton, and there was, but they didn't contact me to, like, go take me to the meetings on that day, which I wouldn't be able to come back from because of public transport. So I'm actually going to closer to people who talk about slow food and closer to people who do permaculture. There's a few farms and that kind of thing around there. Buttermilk, there's a buttermilk group.
That sounds good, Catherine.
Yeah.
We've got Derek here, and I'd like to hear about how his holidays went as well.
Yeah.
If we could get Derek in here and let him tell us about what's been going on, I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Thanks for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine.
Yeah. Okay. Should I stay here or should I just mute?
You if you just mute, but yeah, whatever.
Okay. Right, talk to you later. But I'll stay here. Yeah.
Okay.
How's it going, brother?
Good. How you doing, Derek?
I'm doing well, man. I'm just hanging out at home preparing for another hectic work week. But we had an excellent Christmas. Which did our best not to celebrate it this year, but entertaining the possibility that it's my last Christmas with my grandfather, I figured I was just gonna try to be set apart from the pagan traditions, but still cherish the family time.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to be smart like that, right? Because you want to be able to win over hearts, and if you make a dumb spectacle, you'll taint the way people see you.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I got to share Flat Earth with my uncle, and I kind of touched on the topic with his soon-to-be ex-wife. I was outside taking some 4K video of the stars and the moon and trying to get pictures in my backyard. Yeah.
Where's that footage?
I don't know how to upload it. So I've got it all on my computer, but the file sizes are huge. So trying to figure out how to send it to anybody or do anything with it is pretty far beyond my capabilities.
How's your internet?
It's quote unquote satellite internet, which I find funny, but the reception is the upload speed is not great.
No.
Is it exceed?
Can you not bring it into iMovie, Jay? We'll have a hangout. I'll help you bring it into iMovie. You can render it out at 1080 or whatever. Yeah. And then I guess overnight when you go to bed or whatever, just upload it to YouTube. And we can start working on stuff, brother. I'll give you a hand, man. We'll get you a channel up and going.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, man. I got some video of clouds going behind the moon. That was pretty sweet. It's only an autofocus. I'm still trying to get the manual focus for video mode down, and that's a little bit more difficult. But either way, you can see clearly that there's clouds cruising right behind the moon. I got about 6 minutes or maybe 5 minutes worth of clouds passing behind the moon.
So it should probably be the same on the P1000, but on the side there, you've got the toggle. You have that set for doing your manual focus when you're in that mode?
I don't, but because this one's got an additional feature where you can focus from the end of the lens like a normal DSLR.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get the hang of that.
Yes. Oh, I would love that.
So the secret to focusing, it's real simple, brother. What you do is you blow it up and then you just crank it back down a little bit, and then you blow it up and then you crank it back down a little bit. And as you wait after you crank it back down a little bit, it snaps too. Am I correct, Jason?
Well, yeah, it's you overcompensate back and forth. It's like being at the eye doctor. Is this one better or is this one better? All right. So
Well, it could be done in 2 moves though. Way too much and a little back. Then you just wait. I learned that from watching you, Jason.
but I also use the thumb wheel on the right hand.
Yeah.
And so that you can adjust how much how much it adjusts the focus. And so I actually use that thumb wheel the most.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just need to read the manual. This is the first, I don't know if you'd want to call it a real camera, but it's the first camera I've ever owned. So I'm
with you.
I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But in other news, my grandfather, our prayers were answered. They decided to not put him in a home last minute. I guess my aunt and my grandmother had a change of heart and decided they couldn't live with themselves putting him in a home, and so they decided to hire in-home care a couple days a week, which I kind of wanted to do myself, but I think in the long run they're gonna see the benefit of me having there, and eventually
I expected it. I had no doubt.
Well, and this option right here actually takes a little bit of stress off of you, and you're a busy guy as it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. I'm thrilled, man. I wasn't ready to watch them cart him away by surprise against his will to a nursing home. He doesn't deserve that. So
no, not by surprise.
But
no.
But soon he's going to get to go to the good nursing home, right? We all are. And that's another thing, Jason. We're going to maybe Friday. When's New Year's? Tuesday?
Monday night.
Well, did you want to let Derek know and maybe share with everybody the possibility there could be, with everyone listening, there might be a possibility that there might be like a rapture, a first fruits.
First fruits. So check this out, Derek. Ronnie, if you can find the video, we watched it together that had the 3 different fields. They had the first fruits, the big harvest, and then the gleanings in the corners.
Yeah, I can find that. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you've been following along, since, you watched the whole September 23rd, like the sign of the Son of Man and stuff, right?
I did. I didn't get to watch it live. I discovered you guys shortly after that. So I watched it retroactively, but I did see it.
Okay. And so we've been watching and watching and watching, as the scriptures ask us to do. And, we put high watch dates out. And so there's this channel, Steve Fletcher 222, that I really, really like the research that he does. I hope he's not a Freemason. I really do, but he's a heliocentric supporter. And other than that, he's done some fantastic research watching for the end. And when he brought out a number of things about December 31st, 2018, this was back in maybe like early November or something. Right away, it super resonated with me. And I looked towards the end of the year, and I've had super high expectations all through 2018. And so there was a number of dates in December. I'm like, what was it? The 11th looked really interesting, and then the solstice, and then the next one after that is December 31st. All right. So I have super high expectations for 2018, for something big to happen, and we're coming down to the end of it. And so all this new research that continues to be put out, like just a simple slide like this that Ronnie has up, the first fruits, God's possessions, the main harvest, the owner's possessions, and the corners and gleanings, the poor's possessions. I'm working on a video right now. It's a response video to a letter I got from my mom. And so as I'm working on this video, in research, I'm trying to put all this stuff together. And I just got like inundated with a stream of information that sort of put all this together. And it's my super hunch that this New Year's, December 31st, that the first fruits are going to be harvested, and I think I know who that group of people is. Right. And then there's the main harvest, and I think I know who that group of people is. And then there's the corners and gleanings, and I think I know who that group of people is as well. So let me go through, like we've talked about this over and over and over, how the elect is a group of people that agree on things. Ronnie and I, we agree on the things that we talk about. We've double checked each other, and it's one of the reasons why the whole two witnesses thing. So the first fruits, I think what that is Ronnie and I have really been laying a straight and narrow path towards the truth that isolates people. It separates them from the world. And, you probably know the 4 points. Flat Earth, the AE mapping model doesn't work. We're in some sort of simulation / realm. And the creator of this world is the God of the Bible, Yahweh. And he came here as Yahushai. I think the first fruits are the people that have come to the understanding that that's true. They believe it to be true. And I think that group of people could skip the first 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation and be pulled out of here and serve as a witness to the people for the first 3.5 years. So that main harvest, what I see is that the two witnesses would, they would be sharing, hey, the first fruits, they're out of here. They just took off. We're in this for 3.5 years, but we got to do these certain things to get ourselves cleaned up, ready. And at that mid-tribulation point, the main harvest, and then the corners get left behind for the next 3.5 years. And then that's the part of the tribulation where you're going to have to be martyred to get out of here.
So yeah, just to finish off before we hear what you guys think, you could look at the first fruits as what Yahushua did, right? The main harvest is now, or coming, and the corners and the gleanings will be the ones that give their lives instead of taking the mark. Or the first fruits could be the first section that go relating to the 144,000 that had their oil and their lamps. And then they witness from heaven down to the main harvest goes, and then the corners and the gleanings. So we're trying to narrow it down, but it looks like when Yahushua said, pray ye that your flight may not take place on winter. And then there's another scripture that says, look upon the fields for they're ready for harvest. But in the context of that, it was saying it was wintertime when the harvest takes place. So we're saying that we're in winter now, and we're hoping a bunch of people are prepared and that they know that Yahushua is the true name of the creator. Yahweh was the first dispensation of the scriptures. Yahushua was the second, and the third is the Holy Spirit, the third dispensation, which we've been talking about, how there's the heavenly understanding of the scriptures, and the people that follow down the path that give up this world, that we've been saying, hey, this is some sort of simulation / realm. This isn't a physical, rocks and bare bones and blood place. This is a supernatural spiritual realm that was created. And the last thing you know is that you don't live on a spinning ball rocket in evolution, that the creator made the creation flat and stationary. And if you pass these gates, you know, we're hoping that you go. So what do you guys think? What do you think, Derek?
Man, I don't know. I'm torn. I think that's 100% very, very, very possible. I'm not torn in disbelief. I'm torn in as much as I would, or I'm anticipating and can't wait to see what heaven looks like and to go reap the benefits of, or go reap the rewards for our labors. I feel like I've been conditioned so heavily in this last year, and I just don't see it. I don't see everything having happened to be taken out early. I feel like there's more to my story. There's more to my calling, rather. And I don't know. I've kind of felt it in my heart from the time I was young that martyrdom was something that could be in the cards for me. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. That means you're a spiritual warrior. So I see this as, well, we're engaged in spiritual warfare. There's no doubt about that, right?
100%.
So choices like that are warfare decisions. Like you said, you're conditioned for it. Like you're ready for battle, and you're ready to, you know, you're saying, Yahushai, stick me in, let me go. I want to. Right. So what I'm seeing is those first fruits. There's the elderly, the people that aren't up for battle,
Yeah.
but are looking to get out of here. They've done their work, right? And their bodies are probably worn out and exhausted, and they just don't have what it takes to give anymore. I can see the first fruits being gathered up.
Absolutely. I think it's going to take something major like that has to happen. I mean, we have a paradigm shift coming, and I don't think it's going to be some ridiculous political stunt that sets it off. Oh, looks like Scott joined.
Yeah, if there's a peace deal, and sudden destruction cometh upon the earth, and everything starts shaking, and mountains are falling, and tidal waves are crashing, you know, just remember to praise Yahushai. I plan on staying, and so does Jason. But you know, what if not only the first fruits go, but you know, everyone that they love, Yahushai protects as well. And you know, I have to see it working more like that than, you know, fathers being taken and the mothers are left. But I think that like children are going to go, you know, these are the things that we're expecting. But I like it that you want to battle. I think that's great. I guess Scott's joined in. I don't know if he wants to jump in, but yeah, hopefully Catherine, maybe if you just set your heart to that too, you could go as well, Catherine, and you'll get all of the comfort with Yahushai for sure.
I want to hear reports that actual truth seekers, people, you know, followers of Yahushai that have struggled in his name and has done everything that they can to share the truth about him, that yeah, if they want to go, I sure hope they get their pass. And
you guys gonna say something?
Yeah, because I'm just going to say, because there is this parable that refers to the first fruits, the main harvest, and the gleanings. I really do think we should expect it in 3 phases like that.
I've never thought about the rapture
Guys,
like that. That's interesting.
Right?
Guys, you know about the feasts, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just talking to my uncle about this, and he was talking to one of his, I guess, his Sunday school teachers, and he was talking about, you know, how it was left out, right? The third wasn't the third feast?
There's a lot of feasts.
Yeah, there's major
also,
ones.
Well, honestly, though, like what Derek was just saying, how he felt. Derek, did you feel like that when you were younger? Like you felt like you might have been, you know, left behind, so to speak, you know, like to be here after the so-called rapture to fight the spiritual war in the, you know, in the coming. I mean, I'm talking back in the 90s, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think this would actually come to fruition. But I also...
It's so interesting that you would say that, because as a kid in the 90s, I was terrified of the rapture, and I dreaded the thought of ever having to become a pastor or somebody who taught the Bible. So, like, I ran from that calling, but I felt it from when I was young, and I was always...
You felt like you were going to be there. Like,
yeah,
you're going to, like, you just felt like some reason, right?
Yeah. 100%, man. I feel that for sure.
Yeah, I've talked to other people that felt the same way. Like, I never thought like, oh, I would be one of the people just taken away. Like, it's all easy. Like, I thought that when I first was told that at a young age, like I'm talking like, you know, like 10 years old, I was like, no, I'll probably be around for this because I just have a feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not joking.
No, I know the feeling well.
You know, I didn't think that I'd even ever talk to anybody else that felt that way because, you know, back then in school we're just playing, you know, hopscotch and double dutch. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't talk about that back then.
You were called out. Yahweh called you. Yahushai called you guys, just like Jason and I, and it is comforting. And you know, I specifically went to this one session, and there was a gentleman that was East Indian, and he was a pastor, and he was saying, you know, what are you going to do? He said, there's a great movement happening, and there's, you know, hundreds and millions of thousands and all kinds of people that are finding out about the Lord. And, you know, this was around the time that I started my YouTube channel, and look at now. 'Cause I said that day, you know, yes, I want to help. And it seems like somehow that you guys both here and Catherine and everyone in the chat, they seem to have done the same thing, right? We all sort of share that.
There's people that are like noticing like things like for real, not, you know, like from the beginning, we were like kind of outcasts, let's say. And now we're still outcasts. That's the way it should be. Like I was just talking to my uncle, like Jesus would never want us to be part of movements or groups or, you know, or clubs. Like I told you guys a long time ago, man, I don't like to be categorized.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be on Team Yahushai?
No.
Wow. Sorry, bro, but that's, you know, when I'm playing hockey
I'm on team Son of God. Of Yahweh.
That's Yahushai.
If you want to call him Yahushai, we'll call him Yahushai. We can call him Jesus. We can call him Jesus. We can call him, I don't know if we want to call him many other things.
Well, God with us, Emmanuel.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
He goes by many titles.
Yes, Emmanuel. Yes. I even thought about that with my boy, Big Country. You see, Big Country is a really good friend of mine, and he came here because I asked him to, and I love that. I love that he was here.
Shout out to Big Country.
Yeah, and guys, I'm not joking with you. He's for real. He's for real, for real. Like, that's all I can tell you.
Great. What? Somebody new? Big Country? New guy? Wow. Amen. That's like, where's the bell?
His name is Nate.
Amen.
His name is Nate, and he has two parents that are missionaries.
Every time I meet a new follower of Yahushai, I hear like the angels ringing a bell. It's like bing, and then, you know, soon it's going to be like a mega organ, like Mighty Waters. Awkward silence.
Yeah, no, I was in England. They had pipe organs, and those pipe organs were pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, so much power in that wind. The wind and the waters. I love the Yahushua is spoken of as mighty raging waters. And the other thing,
Or
what?
steam. Remember
Steam.
Jason? Steam.
Yes.
Steam.
See, brother, that just shows your heart, man. Because when Jason 17,000 expansion rate, right? 1 to 17,000 you get off the pressure of steam. That's amazing.
1,700%.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's 1,700, right?
1,700, yeah.
That's what I said, I think. No,
You said 1,000.
Oh.
1,000. Which would be fantastic. That'd be fantastic.
1 0 off.
I'm
Just
sorry.
1 0 off.
I'm not perfect.
I'll take 1,700. It's either way, amazing.
No, but guys, my uncle was telling me how his niece was approached by a Catholic, like a club, like you have to believe like us, like, you know, and it's just like the movement, you know, the Hebrews roots movement. And I'm not saying that you guys were kind of pushing like you have to believe in this and you have to believe in that, but to me, that's kind of a, you know, I'm not going to say red flag, but it's kind of like, you know, a turnoff to some. Let's say you're, you know, we say
debunk us and please show us something that's standing on a higher level truth. That's what we really, really want, Scott.
Oh, I'm here to debunk you all day. And if I have to, you know, and I've called you guys. I'm not like, you know, rubbing your bellies and patting you on the back.
No,
you know
no.
And I love that about you guys.
Yeah, man. You call it straight, brother. But you haven't debunked us yet.
Well, I don't have to debunk truth. You know what I mean? The truth is, you know.
Amen.
That's what we stick with. That way we don't have to run into being debunked. All right.
That's the way that it works.
Real truth is real truth. And, you know, everything else is false. You know, true and false.
We just say, hey, we see it. It's over there. There's the truth, right? We don't say there's Yahushua because he said many will come and say that, but we see the truth and we yell it out. We witness. I witness to that. And you're saying the same thing, man. That's the great thing. And to have big country here, another brother that's following Yahushua, like on my drive back, I'm going to ask, we heard Catherine, we didn't get Derek or Scott's. Derek gave us a little bit of a rundown of his last few days but I heard a pastor speaking. I want to bring it up. We're here to try to make people that want to follow the Spirit of God, follow the Spirit of Yahweh. That's our ultimate goal as witnesses to the Creator, is just to get other people to follow him, right? Just like John came and said, the one that comes after me is much greater. I'm not even worthy to tie his shoes, right? That's what we're saying to you guys. The Holy Spirit is here and we need you guys to follow it. We're not telling you to follow us, right, Scott?
No, we follow him no matter what.
Amen. The Holy Spirit.
All glory to the Creator,
the Holy Spirit, right? It tells us all truth, brings us into remembrance.
The Creator.
Sorry, is that a trigger for you, Jason? Now,
no,
no. The Creator is the.
No, what I'm saying though is like it's too much of this. I feel like if you're created, right? Everything is because of him, right? You know what I mean? So it's self-explanatory. Like it's self-explanatory. You know.
How was your?
Sorry, what? Oh, my Christmas?
Yeah, man.
Well, I told you guys, no tree.
That's awesome.
Well, it's awesome, but I mean, I always knew it, but it doesn't make my girlfriend that wants a tree. Well, she didn't get a tree.
No, it creates conflict, right?
Well, no, kind of, but not really though. It really now that we're past that, this is my favorite time of the year is when it's after all of this. Now we can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, especially in Florida, you know, it's so hot. So now, like, I kind of like the winter. I'm sorry. I like the winter. You know what I mean? But I just don't like when it's so many rules and so many like, like gifts, like you have to give gifts. Like, here's a gift, here's a gift, here's a gift. Oh, it's all in circles. It's all man-made garbage. You know what I mean? But what I do know is I know that I hung out with family, and that's what matters. That's the part that matters, the family part. The family, and we all, you know, appreciate each other's, like, that's what matters. It's not gifts.
Remember Yahushua, he said, when you want to remember me, do this. So he was with his family, right? And they ate. and they commune
Yeah,
together.
his only tiny little small family, kind of like this.
Did you truth them at all during the holidays?
You mean like the way I usually do? A little, not really.
No.
I mean, I've been trying to give that up, man. I've gotten in a lot of trouble the past couple of holidays, like Thanksgiving. I don't know, man. Like I got to keep my mouth shut,
Well, think about it from the creator's perspective.
Bro, I planted seeds. You just plant seeds and then you walk away. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're all thinking about it. They know. People know, man. They know deep down inside. Like you guys are saying about when you say something to somebody, they listen. They might not act like they hear it. That's why I said marinate. It has to marinate, maybe.
That's a great way to put it.
I know. I said it earlier, the little thing, but like, it really is. Like you can't. Like all you can do is just be honest. Just truth, honesty, spewing out your mouth. You can't go wrong. But guess what? Maybe you could go wrong. Maybe people take it the wrong way, but eventually you just shut up and you just watch people's minds,
I recommend, the scripture has said that Yahushua was coming to divide and that he's our role model, right? So for me personally, I look for my opportunities to divide. I do.
Yeah, you use it like as not a game, but like more of a challenge. It's like a challenge, You're challenged to either go one way or go the other way. And that's what's happening. And I've been talking to Big Country about this, Nate. The separation of the wheat and the tares, where I think God is separating a lot. Like he's doing it faster. Like he is making everyone go, you better choose now. You better figure it out because the time is coming. And I'm not saying it's coming now, but I'm saying it might be coming soon. For your own
Amen.
For your own self, though.
Definitely.
It's not about how old you are, how young you are. It's about like let's get this figured out now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Good thing to have a sense of urgency.
Well, you can feel like if you're a truther, you're usually paying attention to a bunch of different information streams, and through that you can sort of feel the pulse of the world. And for those people that have the finger on the pulse, you can tell that there's a lot of anxiety. Like I'm hearing a bunch now about this whole Albert Pike World War III, and I expect it. I think it's part of the script. I think the Freemasons are going to play by that script.
Yeah, that's part of the prophecies, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thy will be done, man. His will be done, no matter what.
Yep. Oh,
Like
Jason, by the way, I shared the link. If anyone comes in trolling, be ready to hit the 3 dots. Just keeping you up.
Oh, we've got Elias that's joining now too.
Yes, Elias. Maybe get a better.
Hey, Scott, man. I sorry to cut you off, man. Those were powerful words, brother. Let his will be done. Always be skeptical, question everything. Brother, you just nailed all of the requirements that Jason and I try to live by. Always be honest. If you're going to lie, close your mouth. Right?
Yeah, why lie? I don't understand lying. It doesn't make sense.
Amen, brother. We got the one they call Elias in the house.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Shalom.
Great. That's what I was saying. Hello, I'm listening.
You know what, Elias? Try turning your camera off because we're not even. Ronnie's got a screen share going. Try turning your camera off to save bandwidth because you're breaking up a little.
That's some advanced advice right there.
Love you, Elias, by the way.
Yeah, nothing but love. The Google Hangouts, man. You always got to turn the camera off to save the bandwidth. But Elias, man, how was your Saturnalia? I shouldn't say that.
I tried to avoid it at all costs. I rebelled as hard as I could.
Would you go to work?
Well, no, I ended up. I did work a little bit, but basically, all I did was just ended up only getting like gifts for my son because my baby mom begged me to get him something, and my daughter got me a pair of shoes for Christmas, so I had to end up giving her some cash on top of just to give her something back. But other than that, I didn't take part in none of it. And
Elias, that's what I did. I gave my girl cash.
yeah, so I got 2-year-old son and 20-year-old daughter. Gave my daughter basically $100. Like, here you go. And I made her wait until Friday, so I'd make sure I didn't do it on Christmas. And I gave my son gifts basically through my daughter. I didn't buy him anything, but we did that 2 days before Christmas just to make my baby mom happy that I got him something, as a child support isn't enough or whatever. But other than that, all I did was hang out with family. We talked about just what's going on with each other. Got to see my nephew and my younger cousin and my aunt and stuff like that. Ate pretty good, but it was nothing about the whole Macy's style materialistic Christmas. I just completely rebelled against it to the T and won out this year. I consider. Other than that, I had a really weird thing happen. Friday, right before I got off, my girlfriend I was with for the last 6 months packed up her stuff and just disappeared. She had a lump sum of money come in. We were trying to get her to get reestablished on Social Security, her SSI, and the check came in and she just took took the check and all of her clothes and everything and just disappeared, ran off for $13,000.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Funny side note. Oh no, it's fine. I mean, she valued $13,000. I mean, that's just so pathetic. I was just wow.
I've completely given myself to the Father's will. I will. It'll take literally Yahushua to punch me in the face for me to be with another woman because I just want to serve the Lord now. I'm done with that. I have a daughter too, and I'm happy. And there's so much stress, people leaving and going, and I find that the first thing that happens in a relationship after it gets bored, the people try to attack each other, and the truth seeking, researching, video making, and live streaming is what I want to do, and I know I'm not going to be able to do that. I barely have time for the rest of my daily life. My suggestion is just pour yourself into the scriptures, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I've been
just pour.
I tried to pull her in with me, and she was all about it, I thought, but to be honest, she was just playing this role the whole time.
You can see it now, right?
Yeah, and it was so sick. It was the manipulation. I mean, she gets the Grammy of the Year award. She was hanging out with my children, befriending my friends and everything. I mean, played the role to a T. And it was all just to get that little lump sum of money and run off. I'm like, this is just, they're not even snakes. It's like cobras and anacondas and shit like that. Forgive my language, but it's just crazy.
We know what you mean.
For such a small sum of money, I mean, don't get me wrong, $13,000 is a nice little chunk of change, but it's not.
It goes fast. That goes so fast.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
And I think
you can't buy a new car with it. All
Sure
right.
you
Yeah,
can.
not a
Come
new
on,
one.
I could get an SRT. I could get a Eagle Talon with that, man. Come on, turbo.
A new one? You can buy a new car with $13,000.
No,
Eagle
new cars,
Talon. What?
new
No.
cars suck, man. That ain't no
No.
Eagle
Twin turbo.
Talon.
Twin turbo.
2.4 liter turbo.
What's that? A year's free,
Twin turbo.
a year's rent? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But
So no fun thing, but you're right, Ron. I'm gonna do like you. I'm going to just focus on my family, focus on your house, and just get deeper into doing things that I want to do, and stop trying to be, the the significant other, and instead just be a slave of Christ for a while and see how that goes.
Yeah,
See where that leads.
how his daughter suggests that it might be a blessing, brother.
Big country throwback.
That's good, yeah.
Well, it's
Jason owned an Eagle Talon, so did my best friend, man. I love driving that thing with the blow off valve. Oh, what a car.
Yeah,
It'll be-
Mitsubishi, same thing.
Yeah, Mitsubishi engine.
Yeah, I had the Talon all-wheel drive turbo. But I just want to say,
all wheel.
Yep. I just want to say to Elias that because I went through this recently, I went through the divorce and stuff. As a guy, there's that female companionship thing that it's just like a natural desire. I don't know too many guys that don't have it. Ronnie's had it. He's overcome it, and it's like any other addiction. Just like any other addiction, you'll go through like
Withdrawal.
Withdrawal. Yeah. And so there'll be a time period where you have to use like extra conviction to fight through it. But just like anything, once you get over the hump, all of a sudden it just becomes like a forgotten memory.
Yep.
Yep.
I completely understand. I mute my audio when I stop talking. That's what the delays are about. But yeah, you're completely right about that. I'm going through a withdrawal right now, and it's just like I've had a couple female friends, and as soon as they found out, all of a sudden they're just like wanting to hang out and jump right into stuff. It's like, whoa, no, let me just back up and take a breath. It's only been 4 days. You know what I mean? Like, it was Friday that it happened while I was at work. I come at work at lunchtime. I found out, like, why are you not answering your phone? Next thing I know, her stuff's going on. Like, what's going on? So, and it's just like automatically, Satan's trying to throw all types of things at me. And, women who are in relationships going like, oh, well, you're single now, huh? Well, my
Hey, Elias.
Oh, watch out for that.
it's like, oh my God, get out of there. Run. Yeah, go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
Are people like you talk to like after you say something about like, truther issues, like flat earth or whatever, like do they come back to you like a couple of weeks or maybe a month later and like give you their like version of what you said to them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, today I had to talk to someone, and they're an atheist global believer. I went to elementary school with him, and he's ready to do the next round of debate. He said, don't come at me with the AE map. I'm not going to don't even try putting that on me. Don't try to come at me with any of that garbage. I'm going to come at you a whole next level of debate. So just be ready. He sat back. He was sitting in the car, and he was leaning forward. And he sat back as I said every little thing, like, "Oh yeah, wow." He's just taking the fuel out from underneath. I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. Get ready."
Dude, it's awesome to hear Elias like clear. It's awesome. It's awesome to hear Elias clear like this, man. It's so cool.
So yeah, I had a great time though. A little 4-day weekend back at work now, and just ready to keep on, spreading the truth and keep on getting into my studies. And it's just even getting worse. Did you guys notice especially over Christmas, how everybody just started doing a whole bunch of recaps of 2018, 2017 videos? I mean, they went
Yep.
And just start posting all types of the same garbage over and over. People are running out of ideas so bad.
It's
I'm just
painful.
laughing.
It's painful,
Yep.
man. I've seen
They're
that for
chasing the tail. They're chasing their own tails, man.
4 years.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
man.
stuff as 4 years ago. They are completely drying up. And that's what is so great about, this channel and you guys is that, we continually chase the truth. And our God is a living God. We're not following the God of the dead, or the God of dead issues that are
The
just
Lord of
over
Spirits, the Most High,
done with.
right?
Yeah.
The
He's the
Almighty,
living spirit.
the living God.
And that's right. That's right.
Not one
So
in
that,
wooden idols, man. One's within our body, within our spirit, right? A powerful living God that raises from the dead.
This
What was our last one? We were
Jason.
talking about the cross and the snake. Sorry.
Jason,
Go ahead.
I was wondering I think Jason has more to say.
this video that I'm working on right now. It should be pretty hard hitting, pretty impactful, and it's really going to show people who they worship if they believe in the globe. And I don't know, I'm pumped. I should have it out by New Year's, and I don't know. We'll see what you guys think of it, but I think it'll be it should be a mighty weapon in the quiver for anybody that's a heliocentric believer.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. This is going to be one of your best, brother. Big Country said something that nothing new under the sun. Everyone is noticing their revolving deceptions. That couldn't be further from the truth. That is spot on.
Yeah, Big Country's pretty good at making words make sense, dude.
And I just wanted to not one up that. That's the wrong words. I wanted to add on top of that a higher spiritual understanding.
Nice.
Because it says in the scriptures that there's nothing new under the sun, and then it says when Yahushua comes, he'll give us a new name, right? We'll get a new name for him and a new name for ourselves. I found out that what we all know here that have been following is that the third dispensation is there's nothing new under the sun. So it's the Apocrypha and the Holy Spirit inspired scriptures and the name Yahushua being brought back into the population, just like when he said to Moses, my name is Yahweh, and that is unto all generations. The fact that these things are happening, that is so amazing that the nothing new under the sun. So we get to understand the parables better now. We get to understand the living aspect of the words of the Creator. It's great.
Yeah, see, and you're not taking just like, parable of the vineyard, like some fake people do, for example. Sorry, just to throw it in there.
Well,
we thought he was good at first, but it went downhill when he supported.
Well, he did a great job with
Skiba.
I know. It was a setup.
Yeah, with the Son of Man, the Revelation 12 sign, he was the top guy, and then he took that notoriety and he just ran his channel into the ground, and admitting that they were all military guys, and now they just promote nothing but the commandments and the Torah studies and stuff like that, and they pretty much chose their path, right, guys? Well,
legalism.
Again, I don't want to be under no curses. So
Oh yeah, I had some delicious Christmas ham, by the way, from my own family. Just to let you know.
nice. That makes me so happy, man.
Oh, I say ham. I did too. Well, I didn't hate ham. I ate sausage, and it wasn't good for me.
Yeah, just to let everyone know that I'm not under the old. I do not.
Oh, I love you,
Being
brother. I
under
didn't
the
mean to do that, but I remember when Jason did that to me. I was saying something, and he's like, if you don't accept forgiveness and whatever, he's like, you're actually condemning the Creator. I was like, what? I'm going under a curse, and I know that whenever you try to hold yourself to those commandments, man, even though I don't believe exactly what everyone says this reality is. So when when we were talking about that, you guys, G-Man did a whole bunch of 4-hour podcasts
Dun dun dun.
about pigs and trying to say how dirty they were. And G-Man is supposedly a Christian who's fighting the Torah, the Hebrews, but yet he comes out as an anti. He's trying to cause division. You shouldn't eat pork.
See, that's the thing, bro. I was not trying to do that. I never was, and Elias was never trying to do that either. All we were saying was just
I know.
our life. We were just telling you guys about our lives, which is so crazy how it turns into that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and Ronnie, so Ronnie always has this position. Like I've said with you guys, I've tried to keep parts of the law, knowing that it wasn't mandatory, but just because I wanted to. And Ronnie does continually point out that it can lead to curses because you can get caught up in it. So he's just putting out that warning.
True. It is very true. That's why, I found myself like my grandmother offered it to me, and I was thinking that scripture, accept everything with thanksgiving, and accept all food with thanksgiving. I can't remember how it is. And, at first I was going to say no. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, please, can I have a slice of that? I heated up and made this sandwich that went with the rest of the meal. So good. And it was like, I just had to get myself out from under it and stop trying to keep the law and, just trying to condemn myself. I know that I am not under the law. And for some reason or another, I keep slipping up. And
that's because you love Yahweh, man. You love Yahweh, brother. That's all it is. That's something.
That's why. Yeah. And I'm just trying to do something to make, I try to do things to make him happy. And I found myself all of a sudden, doing way too much. So I have to just scale it back, go back on my faith, rely just on my faith and know that it's not me, it's
simplicity. Simplicity is, simplicity is perfect, man.
Faith of babes, you know what I'm saying?
He just wants us to be simple.
Scott's right on with that. Simple.
Everything that's simple is so perfect. It's so easy.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah,
we complicate things. We complicate things so much.
We do. And I got to sit down with my mother. It was nice. We sat down Saturday, and it was I got to show her the entire setup of Nimrod and that whole thing where he was trying to assault heaven by building the tower, and taking that to Deuteronomy 32 verse 8, where Moses talks back about it. And I was trying to line up Peleg, the son of Eber, and the land being divided, and trying to see, trying to show how that scripture shows how the land was divided around that time as well.
Oh, you're going deep. You're going deep, man.
Yeah, so it was nice to be able to sit down one-on-one with my mother and show her that, and she really does encourage me to get deep into the scriptures like that. Only problem is that you only have that one line where it says he had two sons and one was Peleg when the world was divided, and my personal interpretation is that, the entire continents were all together, and then in his days the continents were split apart, or began to split apart, or were split apart.
Are you saying like Pangea?
Yeah, it started out as Pangea basically, and then when the people were scattered across the earth, and then in Peleg's day the continents were created or whatever. So I take that verse to mean, but if you guys know how to look at it any different, please, correct.
I think that God made. I don't think it's as old. There's no way it's as old as. I went through this whole thing with my mother.
Not ancient Earth, young Earth.
But what I'm saying though is
1,000 years.
Back when I used to believe in the rocks were carbon dating.
Oh yeah,
we all know that.
And that's such lies. And I used to back in the day when I was thinking about I was all scientist and all this stuff, and my mom was like, no, and I'm like, oh, and I really told her I feel sorry for that, because I was like, billions of years, and like, no. I was way wrong on that. I think that he put everything here the way it was, like, you know what I mean, like only a few thousand years ago. You know, obviously, like 10.
Yeah, I kind of
So
missed
what would
the
you
point.
say?
So Scott, are you saying that
6,000.
was the Earth?
You think?
all-
Wait, hold on.
6,000.
Six? Okay, 6.
We're just
I'm cool
past
with
that.
that.
We're past that.
I'm fine with that. 6 or 7, whatever.
We're in the
Okay,
seventh day.
Elias.
Yeah, like
Go ahead, Elias.
so. Was the Earth all as one, and then Peleg's day was the Earth divided and split into the continents, or has it always been the continents?
I don't think that continental drift stuff. I think that's all man-made garbage from the what do you call it? You know, Big Bang scientific theory
Yeah.
crap.
No, well,
Well,
Go ahead.
I've got
I
a
don't
question.
mean continental drift.
well, Jason, if you could hold your question, I'll just say one thing is that no, the change happened during the flood. So before the flood, there was the central. Most people were living around Israel and Egypt and Africa, and then after the flood, the continents were divided into seven islands of lands. And
Okay.
that was
Let-
done by the
let me-
flood.
Yeah, but
Let me
it
let me
didn't take
challenge you
millions
on
of
that
years.
just a little
It
bit.
didn't take millions of years. All I'm saying is it didn't take
You can
millions of
challenge.
years the way they said. That's all.
Oh no, it happened quick,
No one
real
said.
fast.
No one said a million.
Yeah.
Nobody
No,
said
that's what I'm saying, Elias. That's what I'm saying. I agree because he did spread everything apart, but not according to the science. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I see where Elias is coming on this because I've asked this question, and Ronnie. So I'm thinking, if the flood happened like 4,500 years ago,
That's right.
right? And everybody was in the Mesopotamia area,
Mhm.
and all of
Tigris,
humanity,
Euphrates area. Right?
and all of humanity spread out from that point. I'm baffled at so how would the people in the Americas and like people here have gotten here? So there is a
boat.
question. Yeah, but
Well, and some suggest that when the Bering Strait freezes,
Here we go.
that could be no, but that could be something that actually happened. That because the Eskimos of northern Canada look awfully similar to the Eskimos in northern Russia. You don't have to be a scientist to point that out.
What I wanted to say is what my grandmother said a long time ago when we were driving by the Grand Canyon area, and she said, "I think that God put." And she was old, you know, she's old, obviously. She's dead now, but she was like, I think that he put everything here kind of the way it was. You know, like, for example, the Rio Grande, right? The Rio Grande supposedly, like, you know, ripped through that area and created all that. No, I think
that happened. What happened was when the flood happened, the waters, the springs of the deep. So what Jason and I have now come to understand is the pit that you can drop a 200-pound stone for 40 years down was actually probably filled up with water. And when the great springs of the deep were opened during the flood, the earth just split apart. And as it cracked and split, it did actually create those underwater features. It did push up the mountains. This all happened in a day. The water.
Yes, I'm saying not through a bunch of time.
No, it was super fast, and there's a lot of actual physical evidence, like
that's what I'm
trees
saying,
that have been turned to stone standing up in the side of a hill, and there's been so many different things.
Day, the earth was divided.
Continental drift. That's a good question. Maybe it's an interesting topic of research.
But yeah, dividing people could follow two different gods is divided.
See,
you're not really.
Our brains are science/God. You know what I mean? Slash spiritual. So we have to kind of balance this. You know what I mean?
And what about the Mandela effect with all the continents moving around? Did you guys ever go through any of that? Where
we went through this. Didn't we go through this? Like, it's such a psyop, dude.
It's not.
Yeah, there's evidence, man, that it's.
There's evidence happening. Of what? Of the Bible changing, like
yes,
magically.
Have you read the scripture about bottles and wineskins?
Yeah, I watched you guys talk about that, and and Well, see, that's the thing. I don't have ancient Hebrew text in front of me.
Does
You know what I
bottles
mean?
make sense to you?
Not glass. They didn't have glass back then. No,
Then what would a bottle be?
it would be if they had wood or if they had maybe
A wineskin?
maybe ceramic.
A
Wine. Yeah.
wineskin?
Well,
Animal skin, yeah.
what I'm
Sewed
saying
together.
though is like the Mandela effect per se when they use it, like when they say, you know, first of all, Nelson Mandela, isn't that from the Mandela effect?
Some people believe that, but I don't subscribe. See, the Mandela effect. It's
Keep in mind, he is a 33-degree Freemason too.
So what I teach is that the Mandela effect is affecting people through the simulation in multiple ways. There are groups of people that have collective memories that have changed, like the Berenstain Bears were the Berenstain Bears.
That's the first thing I noticed.
Right?
That's the
There's multiple. The magic mirror on the wall. Never mirror. Luke, I am your father. That like
I knew you were going to say that one. Okay, what else?
When you look in the book of Revelations, it says that the wicked one will have be given lying signs and wonders to deceive everybody. Like he can literally. So, and you know, Scott, that we teach that this is a simulation. It's not a physical world. This is
This is all. Yeah, this is not what you think it is. Yes,
that's right. So the Mandela effect is just another level of control that Satan, like people are just, it's another sifting tool as well.
No, but what I mean by it is when all these channels and all these things and the algorithms and the blah, 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 they all use it as more of a tool to deceive.
I don't see that. I don't see anybody pushing the Mandela effect to deceive
in the
people.
wrong way.
Honestly, the people that I see using the Mandela effect, like Moneybags and there's a few other channels that I subscribe to. They're all super nice, super humble, not out to attack anybody. I've seen what they've responded to attacks with. I've read the comments, I've watched the content, and I'm baffled at the actual changes that are taking place. I don't think Nelson Mandela died in jail. That's not the memory I have, but
I don't care about Nelson Mandela really that much. But what I did think about tonight was this. I talked to my uncle, and do you guys believe that technology like circuits and let's say, just for example, not circuits, but micro whatever, the micro, the technology to beam things across the so-called. No, listen. No, let me ask you a question. Do you think that's from God or do you think that's from the fallen? That's my question to you both.
That's from the fly.
Oh yeah, technology's
from Satan.
Azazel down, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? Okay, because my uncle was like, no, I think God gave us technology. I'm like, oh no, I can't talk to you about this because
see, that's a Satanist will tell you that Lucifer gave humans the fire, right? They have that, or Greek mythology.
No, I don't believe that.
It is relatable because
I think that God gave us the ability to make fire from friction.
Well, no, Satan tries to come and God. Well, if you read the Cave of Treasures, Yahushua gave fire to Adam and Eve so that they were so afraid of the dark because they had never seen a night before. They wanted to die, and Yahushua sent an angel and they lit a fire. That's how fire was given to man.
And that's what. And actually, you're getting deep. Where I was telling him, I'm like, well, from the beginning, the serpent deceived us from.
But technology, it seems like technology does. Well, you know what? We wouldn't be talking.
Not good for us.
We wouldn't be talking.
I know, right?
We wouldn't be sharing the message. I wouldn't have been able to research. So it's a dual-edged sword.
And we couldn't talk. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I believe that there's positive right now. We are being positive, but I believe that. First of all, I think that God made all of this. Of course, He wrote all of it. He knows all of it. He knew everything's going to happen. But He also gives free will, and He also threw them down to deceive us, to make us go into this game or whatever you want to call it to get to heaven. Like that's where
that's it.
Free of good and evil, because it is a double-edged sword.
You have to, since the fall. The first sin was the knowing of the good and evil.
Exactly.
And after that happened, we all had to come. But it looks like Yahushua kind of knew.
If you look at the way this world was originally created back at the Garden of Eden, the creator Yahweh made this like it was a big camping trip, right? And the Israelites, he made them trek through the wilderness and tents and stuff like that. This world was sort of set up to be like a wilderness camping adventure. And
Indian reservation.
and as soon as the electricity came in,
And then all hell broke loose.
yeah, now all of a sudden you've got big cities with skyscrapers and people living in, you know,
city first. Who built the first city?
Nimrod.
Cain.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, Elias, you're way up. You're right on this.
yeah,
Nimrod.
Cain did build the first city, but the technology of the bigger stuff that was brought to man was because the ark's construction style is what gave Ham and the descendants there, they were able to build mighty cities. And you know what, guys? I actually believe they probably had better boats back then with the pitch and tar and the way that they did things with doweling.
Yeah, look at those ancient Chinese ships. I seen a video on.
Well, plus God helped Noah. By the way,
That's my rebuke.
You don't realize God helped
To
Noah
Jason
all day,
saying
every day.
that the people couldn't get to South America. Well, they had some amazing, I think, angels actually, and not fallen angels. Yahweh's
Real angels
to help build that ark, right?
Yep, real angels helped them. Nothing else helped them.
But think about this. 4,500 years ago, there was only 8 people. And then if they start multiplying and they're in the Middle East, at what point do you get to the point where you're building cities large enough that you're building ships, and then you're setting off in ships, not knowing where you're going, to sail across vast bodies of water to
Because
land?
they understood God's sky, which is obviously not only a timepiece, but it's also.
But they didn't know where they were going.
Yeah, no, they had to be off
because angels helped them.
Well,
I believe angels helped them.
I can see that, but I believe, you know, who's done the best job. I know Trey Smith isn't the best one to quote, but he has an amazing video on Noah, and he actually does do the math, and it's perfect. But you could use math to prove any lie. But Jason, from the 8, yes, it actually puts you with, I believe there's an R dot or an R rating that gets applied to the birth rate. And it actually does put us exactly at 7 point whatever billion now, perfectly when you backdate it 4,500 years. Yes.
I know, but the
mathematically proven.
I know, but the settlements on
exponential
on the Americas and
well, they were recent, right? It wasn't that long ago that they built the things in Peru and Machu Picchu. That's not old. Just like it's only a few hundred years that they've really.
I agree with you, Ronnie, about that when you say that, because I know that stuff is definitely not as old as they say it is, man.
I think they did that when they were building the canal. It was the same people that were doing the canal.
You're talking about the Panama Canal?
Yes, they went right behind there. They took a bunch of cranes.
Which also proves the flat Earth, because they have to do that because the Earth is flat.
And you know what's funny?
Another proof.
Yes, and Ancient Aliens was like, look at how they were able to make these stones fit together without any mortar. And you look a little bit closer, and you know why? It's because they formed it and poured concrete in and made their own stones.
Yeah, they have to. You have to lift. You have to lift boats over the flat part where it's just, if you really think about this stuff, it's so obvious.
It's amazing that humans were able to do what Jason said. They were able to take a boat, navigate. You know how many hazards and dangers there are around the continents. There's so many where you can crash and that's it. You're stuck out there. And that man was able to spread out throughout the earth is actually amazing. I find direct links back to Asian culture as well with the name Yahushai and Yahweh. I see so many different places in Hawaii. They have actually like almost the same dialect as ancient Paleo Hebrew. And I
yes, big country, aliens are demons, right? We can all agree on that, right?
That thing about the ancient Chinese great boats and how they're so large.
Everyone knows.
Yeah,
demons or aliens. There's no aliens, right? Everyone, can we all agree?
Yeah, they're satanic
demons. They're demons. They're fallen. They're fallen.
The children that were slaughtered, that were created by the fallen, right? The Nephilim. You got so many channels on YouTube pushing that.
Oh boy, I'm so tired of that stuff.
Isn't it so exhaustingly tired? Jason, what are your comments on the Nephilim and the Rob Skiba pushing all that stuff?
No, who's the other guy? There's some other guy too that's all pushing that.
It's Zen. Zen pushes it too. It really sells books. People want to hear about the Nephilim. They want to hear about
elongated skulls.
Yes, it's fantastical, and people love their stories. They want to be entertained, and I'm not entertained by lies and disinformation, so it doesn't really have much of a.
Yeah, but it's all lies and it's all deceit. It's all lies and deceit and trying to sell books, right?
Yeah, it's fantastical. It's stories. It's story time. There's so many channels like that. The Jay Dreamers is supposedly a flat Earth, but he just goes off and talks about elves and
Wow, yeah, that guy is bad news.
Mystical things and stuff like that. And it sells. So that's what they stick with.
Yeah, that picture right there proves you live on a flat Earth, right? Because if the Earth had a curvature to it, the way that the sunlight traveled to your feet would have a section of it where there would be water in between the way that it would bounce off the hump of the curve of the Earth. The fact that the sky mirrors the ground is proof that we live on a flat Earth, and also that we all have our own perspective and sun in the sky, because Jason could be 100 miles up the beach from me and the sun will be angling towards him, yet I'll be here and the sun will be angling towards me.
Yeah, that's
the greatest proof ever of each individual person having it all right there.
Elias, go ahead.
No, I just was piggybacking on what he was saying. You nailed it right in there when you said that.
That's the thing. It's our own personal, it's everything comes to us personally. Like it renders, like Jason has said before, it renders itself to us in our life. Even it's not just our sight; it's our life. All God's creation is, put forth to us. We see it in our own personal perspective.
We're witnesses or experiencers. Well, Ronnie, you might be right. They might have just gotten on boats. And but what about continental shift?
What were you gonna say? Let me hear your side, because I gave you everything I had. I would like to hear more from what you're thinking.
I'm going to concede, but these earthquakes. I'm just trying to envision something like Elias was talking about, this continental drift, that maybe they were closer together. They've been set apart. That's why they keep on moving them around the map, because they're constantly moving. So this is an alive world. I don't know if they're shifting around, if they bump into each other, if they're like floating. If they're like lily pads out on the sea and they're going to bump into each other, and that's what makes them
lily pads.
I don't know.
It's a hard call. I think really that one move done in Peleg's day, like it said, in his day the earth was divided. I think in his lifetime, during his lifetime, the earth was divided one massive divide. Right after the Tower of Babel happened, when everyone scattered throughout the earth, and then the world was divided in Peleg's day. That's how everybody ended up on all the continents. That's
Elias, the Babel, that's why everybody's babbling and everybody's confused by different translations, because God made it harder and harder and harder to follow the narrow paths, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
He just didn't want us to come together as one, like we did in the plains of Shinar.
Well, because we pissed them off. All the people pissed him off so bad. He's like, no, you know what? Shut up. And then his word just goes boom, and just opened up everything and just made us all have to come back and figure things out like we're doing now.
And the New World Order is all about recreating Babylon. That's why it's called Mystery Babylon.
Yep.
Trying to bring, it says in the beginning of those verses, it says the people were one and the language were one. And they're trying to do that. They're trying to reform
Exactly.
now to try to make the people under one world government and make them one people with one language or
Which
one
is
people
now,
with one speech.
yeah, that's counterfeit. That's what the counterfeit is. That's what Satan is doing now.
Well, so because people think that they built a tower up to heaven and they were going to shoot arrows up there and kill Yahweh and Yahushua, but I see it also on a spiritual level that they had people worship them like they were gods, and everybody followed. And I think we are the temple, right? So the Holy Spirit lives within us.
Yes, we are the temple. We are the church.
The building of any tower or temple is just going to be futile. They really want to take over our minds and our spirits.
Yep.
So how far, if that's the case, now, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing, but that is the case. So how far is what Nicholson and what he's saying?
Red flag, red flag, red flag. Red flag.
Or relevant. No.
Bro.
I'm just saying.
Are you talking about Nicholson in 1968? 1968?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is how much of what he's saying is relevant, or is it all of it?
Oh no, it's a mixture.
It's a mixture, exactly. And now the black goo thing. The black goo thing.
The black goo thing's just oil, right? Black goo's oil. Jason really did a good job with destroying Nicholson. All Nicholson really was showing was that flashy lights and hypnotic music was going to be used to mind control everybody, right?
That's old. That's old news. Old news.
And I think Richie put out a video like today or something about black goo and Osiris's tomb or something.
Yep. Yeah, everyone laughed together.
He's trying so hard to do something, and he's just garbage.
Well, guess what? Everyone's garbage except for Yah. How wish I? No, I'm just saying.
That's true.
Listen, you have to really go, well, this is man. Like, everyone knows that this stuff is all just hearsay and gobbledygook.
Everybody believes it, man.
I know, it's pretty sad, but not everyone. Not everyone. This is dude. You guys know this is 2 years going for you at least on this stuff.
Oh, more than that.
I know, Ronnie. I know. I've backlogged you. I've actually vetted you a little bit, and I've noticed that you've been involved with other people that I've called out. And by the way, I think that you've actually come around. I think that Jason, I have a whole thing going. I want to debunk you guys on your own thing. I want to do, you know what I wanted to do? I want to do a weekly critique. Get it?
Sure.
And I know you would say sure, but that would make, I don't know. Listen, I love the fact that you guys stand up when someone like me talks to you, because no one else would. Nobody wants to talk to someone that has any inkling of any agenda or any, like knowledge of this stuff. Everybody else goes, oh, we can't hear you, and pot you down.
Not us.
No, man.
I know. The first thing I said to you guys was, I thought you guys are a bunch of garbage. And that was the first thing I said to you guys. How funny is that?
That's all right. No, we've had that from a few people that have found us from Jaren's channel, and a lot of people came to me and said, oh, I was really, really mind controlled by Jaren. I didn't realize how good of channels you guys had. And
yeah, I was never mind controlled by stupid little Jaren, whoever that little midget character is. I don't even know who he is. All I know is he's a moron.
I came in asking Jason,
I wish
what is he doing?
I wish that guy would call in.
Why are you taking the flat earth community? I started going in, and he just sat back and sat me down and said, look, no, I'm trying to get everything straight. I don't care who am I against. I just want the truth to be out there, and I want the truth to be known. I don't want no one to be deceived. And I just sat back and listened and started watching his videos, and next thing you know, I was hooked. I was like, okay, forget these other guys, I'd rather go with the truth, and I really think that's what makes these two guys on our channel top notch, You know?
Elias, when you start talking like this and you start like, oh, you're rubbing everyone's belly, but guess what, dude? It sounds like you're like totally like almost like a paid disinfo agent, and I know you're not, but it sounds like it. You know
I
what
don't
mean?
hear that. No, I don't hear that. I
Of course you don't, because you're the one that loves it. You're like, oh, Elias, oh man, I'm blushing.
Yeah, right.
I'm not blushing, man.
Hey,
But I love it
know
though. I love when
but
Elias is real,
I
man.
watch
Elias
so
is
many
real.
chats,
I'm not
like,
joking.
I went back and forth with The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction and emails. I watched a whole bunch of channels, and I mean, I break them down like YouTube videos. Ever since Flat Earth first came out, you know, I was all into this, you know, because it was finally something to talk about, you know, that was worthwhile. And
Hey, guys,
I talked about everybody around me.
I'll tell you right now, dude. I'll tell you right now. I know you guys. I have a feeling that there's at least 4 or 5 people that I know right here. Big Country is one of them, and Terry Zoppi is one of them, and Eliza is one of them, and then Jason and Ronnie, and then like 4 or 5 other people. Guess what? A year ago, I had 0 people in this world that I could talk about any of this stuff to. Any of it. You know why? Because when I did, my father would go, I'm concerned about Scott and his conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll just get used to this. I thought it would be me and just me forever. Me and my Jesus at the time, you know, me and Yahweh Shai, me and Yahweh, and it's just gonna be me forever. This on a front porch I'm just gonna be on a rocking chair. Get off my lawn. That was gonna be my life for the rest of my life. And now here we are.
My life was real similar until Flat Earth came along. It's what set all this in motion.
Down the truth path.
Yep.
Yeah, Yahweh's daughter was pointing out we could have brought that up to Sean Hufford and Red's Rhetoric and their whole modeling crew, right?
Jason, I want to sit on the porch with you and go, get off my lawn, and why don't you push my flywheel? Go over there and push my flywheel over.
I'll just go mow the lawn, man. That's one of my favorite things to do.
No, you're not allowed anymore. This shot would have had great. Looks almost like these got a bit of clouds behind the sun here. It's too bad that they didn't have a P1000 to zoom in on it. P1000, the Flat Earthers camera trick. Oh, there it goes into the clouds. What time are we at here, people?
Well, I think it's probably time for
11:11. 11:11 here, my time. 10:11 your guys' time, huh?
Yeah, it's probably time to wrap it up. But thank
love
you guys.
Love you guys. I'm out.
Peace.
Yeah, for joining and sharing your stories.
Yeah, nice to have Big Country, a new person in the chat. We go live every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. Central. Yeah, nice to have Catherine, Elias, Scott. It's really nice, Catherine, and I'm praying for you, sister.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
And Elias.
Yeah, thank you, Elias. And try to get over the what do they call them? The
blues. Oh, the withdrawals from the ladies.
Withdrawals from the ladies.
It goes away. It gets easier. It becomes easier.
It gets easier
every day, right?
They're witches. Just remind yourself, they're probably witches if they're coming after you right now.
They are. And thank you guys. I appreciate it. I had a great time with you. And I can't wait to hang out with you guys in a couple of days on Friday.
All right. Thanks, Elias.
May how shies will be done, right?
Yep. Thank you all. Ronnie, where can you hear this?
Only beyond Flat Earth.